What's up guys, Ben, Diesel Power Products here. We're doing another update video on the Spoolbus. If you haven't seen episode 1, make sure and check that out. We basically cover what's underneath the hood, which is your 38R with billet wheel, intake, exhaust, up pipes, coolant filtration system, batteries, all that kind of good stuff, all in episode 1. Make sure and check that out. Since then, we have done some suspension on here, we've done some fuel components, and we've done some transmission work, which was scary, but we got through it. So let's check it out. So if you're interested in a big SUV, an Excursion may have come to mind. I picked this particular one because I like doing stuff with friends and I like having room to take them all with me. This particular one is a 2003 Ford Excursion with a 7.3. Last year for the 7.3, that was very important for me to have that, as I am a 7.3 kind of guy. Not a big powerhouse, however, it gets down the road, it'll tow, it's fun to drive still, and it'll definitely get you, your family, your friend's families and their kids and their dogs everywhere you want to go. So it's definitely a plus in my book. It is not subtle by any means. This is not a small vehicle. So if you're used to driving like a quad cab long bed, you'll be right at home in this thing. Since episode 1, you probably have noticed a little bit of an elevation change. We did a Carly 4-inch suspension lift that utilizes some King 2.5 shocks with reservoirs, Deaver leaf springs front and rear, and all of the bracketry to go along with it. Rides very smooth, lots of fun off-road. Biggest thing you're going to notice as far as everyday driving is highway cornering. Normally on a leaf sprung truck, you get into a corner, you start doing some of these, if you know what I'm talking about. This, with a high-speed corner, you're basically turning and planting. Plus, you got a lot of good, just all-around travel with the wheels themselves. Tires, 37s. This kit is supposed to fit 35s. But 37s, because it's America, and 37s are cooler than 35s in any day of the week. Wheels are still the same as last time. Method grids in titanium, 17s, and we also got Warren hubs on there because the stock hubs suck. So definitely want some Warren premium hubs to make sure they can actually turn them by hand when it's time to get in four-wheel drive. So as you start adding power to a diesel pickup, a lot of times, or a diesel truck, a lot of times your next weak link is your transmission. This thing's got a 4-100 in it, which is a 4-speed with an overdrive. Started making more power and it started slipping pretty bad. Luckily, it didn't have a ton of miles on it, so I was able to get away with doing, I did a BD converter with it, a accumulator, deep sump pan, and external filter. All of the internals were still good to go. I did have those checked out. The one thing is I broke my own rule. I got inside a transmission. I have no problem tearing apart an engine. I am not transmission tech. As far as I know, it's nothing but magic that happens in there. And long story short, I had to pull it 4 times in 3 days. It was not fun. I learned my lesson. However, truck runs, or the Excursion runs great now. I wouldn't hesitate to tow with it. Sled pull, drag race, it holds the power. It does shift pretty firm. There's a bit of a sweet spot. I like to go with a firmer shift between 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. So you can definitely feel it shift. It's not a squishy gearbox by any means, but I like it, and I would highly recommend anybody upgrade a transmission in their truck if you want to get some power to the ground. All right, for the interior, not a whole lot has changed. Since the last video, I did have a baby, so there's a car seat back there, which is nice because the Excursion's huge, so you can hold everybody and everything. Next thing you'll see, if you can even see it in here, most people normally are going to have their little remote with up and down switches for your gearhead tuning. I was able to get an Edge Insight CTS2, basically a revolver that was unlocked to be able to run gearhead tuning on the screen. So now I can change it, all the Edge Insight CTS2, which is also new to the vehicle. Another part that really did help the performance of this that I wish I had done sooner, is one of those parts sitting on my desk for a long time, was a fast titanium. The stock lift pump on this truck does an okay job, but as you start getting into higher horsepower tuning and able to move more air, you start needing more fuel and better filtration. So I do have a fast 125 gallon per hour in there. It came with a 55 gallon or a 55 psi spring in there that has been upgraded to a 75 psi spring. And the part that I really like about it is it starts better in the cold and it runs better through the RPMs. Like I can actually run this all the way to the red line now with the torque converter and with the fast titanium on there. Plus I have added filtration. Injectors are not cheap, so having added filtration on there and proper fuel supply definitely lends itself to longevity, better performance, and just a whole lot more fun. That did require me to drop the tank. If anybody's scared about dropping the tank on Excursion, don't be. It's 4 bolts. It's very easy. Just get it done. I would highly recommend it to anyone. All right, so that about wraps it up for the latest update on the Spoolbus here. Future modifications, I still have a regular return that I haven't put on yet, which is still sitting on my desk because dad life. I have an ARB front diff cover that I have yet to put on because dad life. Lastly, a couple of things that are kind of hard to film, but definitely make a difference on the truck. I did put an Air Turbine 4040 XL muffler in that diamond exhaust. Definitely love the sound of that. Highly recommend that as well. Also did a mean green starter on there. If you have a 7.3, you know just how slow they turn over. A mean green starter, gear reduction, kicks over real fast. Super nice in the wintertime. Anyhow, if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call, 888-993-4373, or you can email me, ben@dieselpowerproducts.com. Thanks for watching.